Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled because today we're going to be shedding light on why having Maxstar credentials such as 4 degrees, 4 certifications, and almost 20 years of managerial experience has no significant bearing on increasing your probability to receive a real private sector employee job offer that pays above minimum wage. So why does this happen to be the case? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, and much of my irritation, most real private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, ineffably agonizing jobs that not only dispossess an employee of most of his sacrosanct time, but that also do not furnish him with anywhere close to even 1/4 of a subsistence wage for affording housing. Furthermore, most real private sector employed jobs do not offer any benefits nor any pensions. So real private sector employed jobs that offer a pay grade that are above the minimum wage threshold are scarce. They are not profusely available, and the ones that are available are reserved for people who are relatives or friends of the hiring managers. It is based on nepotism in terms of whether or not you will receive a real private sector employee job offer that pays above minimum wage. Are you a best friend of a hiring manager? Are you a relative of a hiring manager? If your answer is staunchly no, then your probability to receive a real private sector employee job offer that pays above minimum wage is infinitesimal. However, if you are a best friend of a hiring manager, or if you are a relative of a hiring manager, then you have a significantly higher likelihood to receive a real private sector employee job offer that pays above minimum wage. Companies are eminently recalcitrant about onboarding new employees, especially in contexts in which they need to offer them pay grades that are above the minimum wage threshold. It is easier for the chief executive officer to increase his hourly compensation from $79,326.92 per hour to over $90,000 per hour in the short haul if he abstains, desists, and refrains from onboarding new employees at a pay grade above minimum wage than it is for him to do so in the short haul if he onboards new employees at a pay grade above minimum wage. There are a copious amount of chief executive officers who earn over $165 million as their emolument per year. So remember, the profits that the companies generate are almost entirely reserved for the executives in tandem with the shareholders. If you work a real private sector employee job, it's not going to be conducive to allowing you to generate significant wealth. So they would prefer to displace their workforce with artificial intelligence powered robots than onboard new employees, especially if it comes at the cost of paying them a pay grade above the minimum wage threshold. Companies have been able to conduct their business operations with skeleton crews. If you go inside a retail store, for instance, there are scant employees operating the retail stores. So they are reticent about onboarding new employees. And if they are going to be amenable to onboarding a new employee to be quiet hired in to fulfill the role of a myriad of employees, then it will be an employee who the hiring manager has a strong interpersonal relationship with than someone who is enigmatic to them. So I hope that you deem this video to be insightful, riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, and amusing. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.